the person who owns the machine almost a package, a way of knowing how to be successful. Not just that they buy the machine and we leave it to them to figure out how to make the money, but that we really give them, this is what you need, day one, this is how to start, or even 60 days before day one. We have a manufacturing process we're going to go through. We can get the word out 60 days in advance, ready to pull the plug as soon as they're ready to go, that we get references. As a matter of fact, I got the doctors were actually asking for a referral form, the ones that didn't know about that the machine was there. So, I mean, we were getting people, there's no question in getting the word out that there's going to be a major benefit to everybody. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of the background from where I come from. What I'd like to do at this point is actually, I know there's things that are bothering you out in the field, because I've talked to some of the representatives and I've heard things that we have, some maybe some things that are built up because of maybe what the competition has said or what we've heard the competition has said. Frankly, I've had representatives from the Big Four out to see me as if I was buying a machine, so I know the things they're saying. But what I want to do before we really get set into what I call a structured selling system, which is what I'm going to go through with you, that I've developed for this specific product. And by the way, so that you know, we're taping everything, and everybody will get a full copy of what we're talking about, so that as far as taking notes, certainly take notes, but you'll be able to have one full copy that we can go back and everybody will have a way to be able to review everything that we go over. Because I've actually developed a very specific script that I'd like to present to you today, the way that I'm presenting to investors. But before we get to that, I really would like to know what's going on out in the field now, that with what I consider the gold standard, we're running into problems in sales. I'd like to open the floor to that. I'd like to know what people are feeling about what's going on in the marketplace, because I think I've come up with solutions for a lot of them, but I'd like to kind of clear the air and have everybody have an opportunity that would like to speak about the issues that are going on out there and the ways that the company internally can help you out there. That's the purpose of the meeting now. We need to sell this thing like it's the gold standard. It is the gold standard. We have every argument in the world that this is the gold standard. You're not going to be, I think sometimes we're getting objections from people and from prospects due to misinformation that the Big Four, I'm going to call them the Big Four rather than naming them every time, are saying about us out in the field. So I'm opening the floor now. Who would like to discuss some things that maybe we might be able to help with? Come on, we're closers. Everybody's got to have something on their mind. Nothing? Hey, doctor, I think we're going to sell about 1,000 of them this year.
I'll say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reimbursement environment is poor and stands to get poorer in the next few years, which has been a great discouragement for many potential buyers. It starts with the federal programs, and that will trickle down to all the insurance companies. So it's essential to be able to address that issue and give a comfort level to potential buyers that they can still make money if they buy these scams.
Right. Yeah, just to amplify that,
Yep.
What you said earlier about, and I'm not picking on what you said, but what you said
Please
earlier
pick
about
on it.
the fourth component of the enterprise,
Okay.
is the payer.
Yep.
That's what he's talking about,
Right.
what Kurt's talking about. So that fourth component, without that component being on board with the upright MRI and so on and so forth, then the success rate of that enterprise is lower. So
Does it pay any less?
they could. It depends on the location.
No, but the upright, would it pay any less than a recumbent machine will be paid?
No.
No. And if somebody is doing the level that we're talking about that a machine should be doing, not one that's doing 5 scans a month or 5 scans a day, that we're certainly going to be focusing on to get those numbers up. But on a location that is doing that, let's say, 15 to 20 a day, at the level that we're at now and at the possible level it could go to, will it still make a lucrative amount on the investment? Will the return on investment still be lucrative?
I think if you get over 15, the answer is yes.
Okay. So that's where I would say we really need to focus. Not so much worrying, and the payer's going to have to pay something. They're never going to do away with it because, let's face it, actually it's interesting, Doug is an associate of mine. We've been doing business together since 1993. And one of the observations he made is because it lowers liability ultimately, if you're getting a better back scan, in my opinion, you can make an argument to the insurers that insure the surgeons that every back surgery should not be allowed to be done without having an upright scan.
What you said earlier about 1 in 11 in your little research, the research that you did within 20 miles, that has a great impact because I'm constantly amazed that people have not heard of this thing, despite of all of the information that I put out in my little area, despite the advertising that Dr. Nadian has done. If the consumer, if your wife knew about this, she would insist upon having this. So I think one of the major problems is there's just not enough people know about this thing.
And we all agree with that, absolutely. And I tell you, that was one of the major places in our first conversations. It's a fundamental sales thing to me. There's two types of marketing. Reactive marketing and there's proactive marketing. Reactive is where you put things out and you wait for people to react to you. Like mass mailing, for example. Your return on a mass mailing, if you got 0.25%, 0.5%, you would have a good direct mailing campaign. That meant that 99% of them threw it in the trash, is basically what happened. With proactive marketing, the way that we do it, we literally, when we call these offices, we work our way up. The receptionist happens to be a tremendous value in this sale, by the way. So keep that in mind. A lot of times we might not think of it that way. The receptionist carries a lot of weight, and Dr. Damadian has some experience with the operation of these machines in a radiologist setting, and that's for sure. The receptionist from the doctor's office ultimately, and I would say at least 50% of the time, is the one who's going to pick once the doctor says send them for an MRI. Can you believe that? Not even the office manager. Just 1 second, I'll get right to you. So that person becomes very important. Second, then we work our way up to the office manager. Finally, we work our way up to getting in the ear of the doctor. You can only do that when you're able to call on the kind of rate and pace that we can do it. But getting the word out is definitely an essential part. Now, from the consumer side, if I could add, the consumer side is a very, very difficult way to go. You'd love to do it, but you look at the budgets of some of these drug companies, they're spending $1 billion a year. To be able to do it. But we could get the same traction if the referrers and everybody behind the desk at the doctor's office knows about it. We fax them something, we're mailing them a package, they're going to have a lot of things in front of them. Now it becomes a very, very big opportunity because everybody knows. And people who weren't referring said, send me a referral slip. So we're going to use proactive marketing to help to affect that circumstance. Yes, Doctor.
Two major problems.
Yeah.
A site that does 20 to 30 miles area, does its own marketing, is very successful in getting the consumer to come to get an MRI from that site.
Because of their own advertising that they're doing. Right. Okay.
The major problem is the doctors are looking for papers. This product is not experimental. Okay? For them to see the benefits as the product portrays. Okay? And that's where we have failed. Had we had papers that says upright MRI is a must, or it does this benefits, then the product would be much more known and accepted and demanded.